All right, here we go. Brand new game of Planet Crafters. New update just dropped. Here's what our world looks like right now. It looks pretty bleak, doesn't it? There's a dead ship up there. There's stuff floating around in the sky. There's some minerals on the ground. And look how fast our oxygen's going down there in that corner. You see that 100 down there going down? That's going down pretty darn fast. If I don't get inside, if I don't get some oxygen soon, I'm going to start getting ready to perish. And when I perish, I'll lose some of my items. And as long as I'm inside here, inside my little landing pod here, I'm fine. And look, I have a message waiting for me. Now, just so you know, there was a brand new patch just now dropped for this game, the insects patch, so that when you get further in the game, there'll be insects and waterfalls. Now, the game is still in early access, so new features are being added all the time. Right now, you can't completely terraform the planet just yet, but you can get pretty far. In my first playthrough, I probably had close to 15 to 20 hours. Of course, I was a complete noob, but I'm terribly unorganized. But if you buy the game right now, you'll get a pretty good bunch of content out of it. So let's read this message. Welcome to your assigned planet. Your mission is to advance the terraformation process of this world. Generate O2, which is oxygen, heat, and pressure to do so. First, reach 175,000 Ti and create a blue atmosphere. And we don't worry about those goals too much. We know our goals is basically like any other survival game. Survive and build a base. Now, I'm not going to give you too many spoilers, but if you choose the standard starting location, this is where you'll be. Right now, there's only one world, and the world looks the same for everybody. This is where you'll be. Now, I'm not going to give you any spoilers unless you watch all the way as we play. But if you're watch this video when you decide to play, don't start building your base here. I mean, you can build some temporary structures here early on, but when you get to the point where you're going to build a permanent base, go a little bit higher ground. If you see those arches over there, I would say just on the other side of those arches is my recommendation. All right, let's see what's in here. So in here we have seeds, which we'll need to grow plants later. We have some space food, we have some oxygen, we have some water bottles. Now every time I consume a water bottle, it'll refill my water meter. Every time I consume an oxygen, it'll do this, the oxygen. And if I do the food, it'll fill this up somewhat, not all the way. It depends on the food. Later on, you can grow your own food. All right, so right now our goals are to craft a backpack because right now we just have 12 spaces and we don't have any gear. So we can use our crafting machine right here. When we start doing construction later on, we'll use Q to bring up that interface. But right now we're just gonna use this little crafting thing here within our ship, and we need to craft a backpack. And you see, to craft a backpack we need 2 iron. So where are we going to get that iron? Well, there's plenty of materials laying around here on the ground. So I'll go over here. You see, as soon as I step out of my ship, oxygen starts going down. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do this first goal. Left click, just like most games. Now we've got 2 iron, so I'm gonna go in here and create my backpack. Backpack. All right, there we go. Now the backpack is in my inventory, so I have to equip it. Just click on it, and you see now we've got 4 more spots. We have 16 instead of 12. Now we can upgrade our backpack, install different chips here, and just, you know, it's just your typical survival game where you can just build more and more stuff. So now our next goal is to build an oxygen tank. And to build an oxygen tank, we need 2 cobalt, iron, and a magnesium. Now, there's 6 basic. Let me switch something here real quick. Options, controls. I'm going to turn on sprint so that it's always on. Ooh, I think I did that backwards. I think it might have saved it from the last one. All right, apply and close, resume. Now if you press shift, there we go. All right, so right now I've got 1 cobalt and I need, that's ice. I don't need ice right now. Cobalt, iron. I know I needed magnesium. You can tell what these things are by looking at them from a distance. The blue is obviously the cobalt, the white's the ice, and this stuff here is titanium. Oh, that's iron. This is the magnesium. It's kind of looks more like a little rock flower. And this is a silicone. Notice our oxygen's getting low, so we're gonna head back to the ship. That'll make us jump. Now, at the very beginning of the game, your oxygen goes down really quickly. Now, as the game progresses, you'll be able to build a bigger oxygen tank. Did we get everything we needed? So we still need one more cobalt. You see, we ran back in here and then we immediately filled up. So I can just run out here, grab another cobalt, and go back in here. And see, if you look, we can survive about a minute and a half outside the ship at the moment. Now, obviously, it's not going to stay that way. So let's build our oxygen tank. And our oxygen tank will be right here. Click on it. And now you can see instead of holding 100 units of oxygen, we can hold 145. So now we need to create a construction microchip, which is, that's deconstruction. So we need 2 silicon and 2 magnesium. Silicon is just slightly a little bit harder to find. There's some, so we need 2 of those, 2 silicon and 2 magnesium. Run around over here, you can see, all right, there's that. And if you want to, you can go ahead and grab extra resources while you're out. 2 silicon and 2 magnesium, so we need 1 more magnesium. Magnesium is just a hair rarer than the other ones. I'm gonna go ahead and grab 2 while we're out here. The other one is titanium. Let's see if I can remember. All right, so silicon, magnesium, cobalt, titanium, iron, and ice are your base materials, and you can find them laying around just about anywhere. So let's go ahead and make our construction microchip, and we add that to our little tool. This goes on our little, this is a multi-tool. So when I click on this microchip, it's going to add it to our multi-tool. It's not like the multi-tool in No Man's Sky. This is just basically just a list of upgrades you have. But now that I have the construction microchip, I can bring up my actual construction screen by pressing Q. And it shows me all the other things I can build. I can build a base. Now, when you build a living compartment, it's important to remember that when you build the living compartment, it builds your 4 walls and your ceiling and your floor. It doesn't have a door. So make sure you have enough materials for a door. Now, as soon as you have a living compartment, you don't have to do anything else. You can pop in there and your oxygen will replenish. Your water doesn't replenish. The only way to replenish water is by crafting water bottles from ice or from other things you can do later on in the game. Steps you can just build for whatever you need, a lamp, foundation grid. These are things for you hardcore base builders. You can stack and combine living compartments. It snaps them together to some degree. You can build another craft station, the craft station T2, which lets you build better things. Vegetube, we'll do that here in a second. Helps create oxygen. Drill releases gases and stuff from inside the planet to help building atmospheric pressure. Wind turbine generates energy, and a heater generates heat on the plant. Information screens, you can just put them in your base to help you know more stuff about what's going on, help you track goals. And this is different types of furniture you can put in your base. Most of this is not functional at the moment, just can make your base look really good. Storage crates are something that you will need a lot of eventually. So next we need to craft another living compartment. It wants us to craft a living compartment, and we need 2 iron and a titanium. So let's grab, there's another iron. So where are we going to build our where are we going to build our next living compartment? Now, we'll just go ahead and build it. I'm going to go ahead and build one over here for our temporary base. Okay, remember this is not going to be our full-on base. I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so now I need a living compartment door, which means I have to have iron, titanium, and silicon. I need to go ahead and drink some water. So I need iron, titanium, and silicon. There's our iron. I need a titanium and a silicon. There's our titanium. Silicon's laying over here. I can see it. Alright, so low power. What is low power? We don't have anything that's using anything at the moment. That's must be a new message because we don't have anything using energy at the moment. So power shouldn't really matter. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my Q to make my living compartment door, and it just snaps right on there. And you can see now I have a living compartment, and you see my oxygen is going down there. As soon as I step into my living compartment, oxygen starts going back up. Now, since the living compartments are pretty cheap as far as resources go, you can see there's that low power thing, but we're not using anything. Your little mining tool doesn't use power. The only thing that uses power are things that you build. I guess it's letting us know that we're low power because we don't have any power at the moment, but we're not using anything that uses power. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here and use this to make, now you can use the ice to make water bottles that you can drink out of. Right now that's the only thing you need the ice for is water. And 2 cobalts you can use to make an oxygen capsule, which you can use to refill your oxygen meter and your water meter respectively when you're out on the town. So now it wants us to build a drill. So we need a titanium and iron for our drill. So I'm going to go ahead and get my titanium and some iron. I'm going to go ahead and how far can I go? I'm going to go over here and put my drill up here on higher ground for reasons that will become obvious later. The drill is not something that I need to have access to once it goes into there. So the drill is running. I have low power, but the drill is running. Right now it's producing 20 NPA per second. So the atmosphere is getting a little bit more pressure every second. So now we need to craft a wind turbine, and for that we just need 1 iron. Now a lot of these things, as time goes on, you will move them and upgrade them. I'm gonna go ahead and put this wind turbine up here right next to this, just for now. For those of you who are really good base builders, I'm just warning you, you are going to get very frustrated watching me. Alright, so now I need to craft a screen, terraformation. Now the terraformation screen is just a little computer screen that you can put inside your base. You can jump. Right now I don't have a jetpack. Jetpack comes later. So I'm going to build myself a little terraformation screen. So I need 1 more iron to do that. You can see it takes iron, cobalt, and silicon. You don't need a crafting station to do that. What did I need? I need iron. All right, so I need another iron. Now, like I said, the game is not finished. It's a really big world. You can go very far in various places. So one hint I will give you is that these resources, you see there's resources scattered all over the ground. If you get to a spot where you look off into the distance and you don't see any resources scattered on the ground, probably means you can't go there. I'm guessing that when the developers are working on this, they're putting resource spawners and the places where you're not supposed to go yet, there's just simply no resource spawner there. Alright, so let's create our terraformation screen. I'm going to hang it on the wall. And it tells us right now we have 0 oxygen, we have 0 heat, picokelvins, I guess. And you can see that the pressure, the atmospheric pressure is going up just a little bit at a time. And the terraformation index, which is basically your overall, how much, your overall terraformation score is only 17. It takes a long time for it to get up to we're getting really cool stuff. All right, so now I need to craft a screen for blueprints. That helps us learn how to make new things. So I need iron and silicon for that. As you go and explore the planet, every once in a while you will find, go ahead and grab this. Every once in a while you'll find computer chips that you can bring back, and it'll tell, and you can use them in this device, and it'll tell you how to make new things. Go ahead and grab stuff. There's another silicon, but now I need iron. It's a titanium. No, it's an iron. Okay. Head back over here to our. You can see nothing's changing yet. It takes a little while for things to start changing, but eventually the world does start changing. I'm gonna go ahead and leave all of our. R will rotate. Now this one you can't hang on the wall for some reason. I don't know why. This one has to go on the floor. You might be able to put it on a table at some point, but want to. So there's that, show interface, and this shows all the different blueprints that will unlock. Now, eventually, like I said, you'll find blueprint microchips, and you can bring them and use this device to decode new things to build that aren't on the screen. These up here are things that you will unlock as you terraform the planet. Like you see right now, our base terraformation score is 32. When it gets to 300, we'll unlock a new backpack that we can try and create. Our oxygen, when it gets to 1.0 ppt, we'll be able to craft an indoor ladder, and then after that we'll be able to craft a heater, and then heat once it gets to 500 pk, then we'll be able to unlock a new veg tube, and it goes all the way up to, they should have added new things, but there's a nuclear fusion generator, ore extractor, tree spreader. Alright, so incubator. Alright, so there's an incubator for growing insects and larvae, which were just added. So you can, so right now we're building pressure. Will probably be the first thing we'll probably extract. I mean, probably our first upgrade we'll get will probably be a new oxygen tank, and that's just at 70. Now eventually oxygen and water don't become too big of a thing, because your oxygen tanks will be so big, and you'll have ways of gathering oxygen from the atmosphere without having to create it from scratch. Same thing with the water. You can see even right now our water's not going down that fast, and neither is our health. Now your health can go down if you fall from something. Alright, so once it's to craft a heater, which requires iridium, iron, and silicon. We don't have any iridium. Iridium is one of the first rare ores that you will run across. I know where to get some. I know where I can find some. Let's see what our next thing is. We want a vegetube, which we can make. We just need iron, ice, and magnesium. So let's get that taken care of first off. So we just need a chunk of iron to make our vegetube. So we should find some. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of this other stuff. So when we need it in a little bit, there's some iron. Sometimes you'll have to mine it twice, but you'll only get one. Go ahead and grab some extra junk, just in case. Because you will be doing this a lot, you'll be building, eventually you'll be able to build stuff that automatically mines the ground for you. Just, lots of stuff to come in the future. Let me go ahead and grab some more ice. Now there will come a point when the world becomes hot enough that you won't find any ice, but that's a long way from now. So we need a vegetube, which we will build inside. Vegetubes can only be built inside until you get to one of the higher level ones. Doesn't matter to rotate it, all looks the same. Alright, so we have low power, which means I need to build another windmill in order to power my stuff. So we're getting low on water. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and eat that. Windmill only took 1 iron. Now eventually your windmill, one dinky windmill, will not be enough to really power your planet. So you'll need to build upgrades, solar panels, nuclear power, and eventually fusion power. So you can see our heater stopped working, our drill stopped working. This has stopped running, I guess, since you can't produce enough power, just not even going to try anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and put this other one here, and everything immediately comes back online. And since I'm up here, and since they only take 1 iron, I'm going to go ahead and build another one. There's no penalty for having too many wind turbines, that's for sure. So now we have a storm coming in. Every once in a while you'll have these storms come through. I did see snow once. Winter, it kind of started snowing, the ground turned white, but it only lasted about 30 seconds, so it was a very short winter. Definitely wasn't a Game of Thrones style winter. So now our veggie tube's back online. If I click on it, you see it's waiting on a seed. Lots of different seeds you can get. Now there was a seed over here in our original storage crate, so I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab our replacement food. So our seed lerma, it'll produce oxygen. Eventually you'll be able to find seeds that have bonus oxygen production. Like when I put the seed in here, you'll see that its base is 0.15 ppq per second. You'll be able to find other seeds that have 200% or 400% or even 600% bonus. So that number can go up just based on the type of seed you have. And you can see the plant slowly growing in there. Alright, so you can see our oxygen is going up, and we did get it said we were able to craft a new oxygen tank. So let's see what we need for our oxygen tank. We might have to build that new craft station. Yeah, we can't build our oxygen, we can't craft an oxygen tank with this one. We have to build a new craft station, T2, which takes an iron and a silicon. So once again, we're gonna have to go out and look for some iron. Iron is not something that you're ever going to run out of. Now, sometimes you might have to look around for it a bit, but right now we're just kind of limited to this area around of our base due to oxygen. Eventually you'll be able to go and run around the planet for 10 minutes at a time, then 20 minutes at a time, then 30 minutes at a time without having to worry about these things. You'll be able to go out, bring back all the stuff you need. Remember, this is just our temporary base, so if it's looking pretty cramped in here, don't worry about it. Now the game mode I'm playing on, casual, I think it's the same for all of them though. Like once it's time to move this base, I can come through here and deconstruct all this stuff and I don't lose anything. It's not like some games where you build, like this took 3 resources. If I deconstruct this, I'll get all 3 resources back. So I can take it apart, move it to my new base or wherever and put it together and everything will be fine. So let's go ahead and build. So our new oxygen tank requires our original oxygen tank, or any oxygen tank T1. So it takes 1 silicon, 1 cobalt, 1 titanium, and 2 magnesium. So you can see the ones that are grayed out are the things we don't have. So we just need to go get our silicon and our magnesium, and we'll just take off our tank, and that'll allow us to use it as a thing. So silicon, so now we just need a magnesium, which is right over here. All right, so we go back over here, jump, jump, jump. So silicon, magnesium, so we're gonna go ahead and build. All right, so we'll go ahead and take off this oxygen tank. And you see our oxygen went back to 100 max. So now for our oxygen tank T2, it'll use that oxygen tank we just took off. It'll consume our silicon, cobalt, titanium, and our 2 magnesium. And now we have to go and put our new oxygen tank on. And you can see now 200. So now we have twice as much oxygen capability as we did before. So we need a heater, but we don't have any iridium. Now there's other things we could build. Well, we can't build the heater. We could build more drills. We could build the energy level thing. We don't need more than one of these. You can build more than one if you want to, but you don't need them. And just remember, they do require energy. So now it's time to explore. As you can see, there's a spaceship up there. There's a crashed spaceship up there. Now if we head up there, right now I have 1 oxygen tube. And so now when we only have 2 minutes worth of oxygen or so, going up there, going all the way up there, finding anything inside of it, and then coming back is going to take more than 6 minutes of oxygen. So what we're going to have to do is build some intermediary bases. So we need iron and titanium to build these bases, or just little living places in between. And we need more than just iron and titanium because we have to build a door in them, obviously, or else we can't get in. Iron, we need titanium. I know we need silicon for windows and doors. There's more silicon, more iron. Don't have to worry about dying too much. We'll just lose some of the stuff we're carrying. So I'm gonna head up here, right up here near our wind farm. So we can go 200. So I'm gonna go and build it when we get to about where we can start running out of our first batch of oxygen. And there's a chest right here. If we open up the chest, we might find some interesting stuff. There's a blueprint. There's lots of minerals in there. I'm not going to grab them just yet. Go up here. I think this little spot right here may be a good place for a living compartment. We need some titanium, so there's probably some titanium right here. We're getting low, which is no big deal. We do have a bottle, but we're trying to do this, you know, how far we can get without a bottle. And then we need 1 more titanium, which will be here in this chest. Can we do it? Titanium, come on, oxygen levels are critical. Come on, get in there. There's our door. Jump. Alright, we made it in there. I think we lost some health though. Once your oxygen gets down to nothing, then you'll start losing health. Alright, so now we have an intermediate base. So we'll probably have to build another one of these when we get up there, closer. But now we have a place halfway in between. I'll go ahead and grab this. I know we need iron and titanium, silicon, magnesium. Go ahead and grab the other iron. So we'll hop in here. Hop. We're up to 200 oxygen and we'll start heading towards the ship again. We'll build another one of these little bases right outside the ship. This is just our very first exploration section. Exploration is required in this game, so if you're not an explorer type, you probably won't enjoy the game too much. So I'll go ahead and put this over here. There we go, and now we need to build our door. Alright, so now we can come in here. Now we can build another crafting station here if we need to. We're going to go in here, we're going to look around real quick. We can't turn on our we don't have a flashlight yet. We can go in here and we can poke around a little bit. See if we can find anything just yet. It obviously gets very dark very quickly. So we are going to need a torch, which obviously means flashlight. So we're going to go ahead and build another craft station T2. So all we need is a hunk of silicon, which should be right down here. I'm not saying that I knew where it was. I'm just saying that because I know that they're nearby. All right, so we'll go ahead and build another craft station right here, and then rotate it so it's kind of diagonally out. All right, so what do I need to build a flashlight? I need a magnesium and a silicon. So magnesium and a silicon. Now this over here, you can see there's ice. And this ice will start melting at some point later, and it'll open up these areas and you can go and explore inside them. So right now I need a magnesium and a silicon. Silicon. If there's any magnesium over here. Magnesium tends to cluster in certain areas. Fortunately not over here, so I'll grab that silicon. Grab that silicon. See if I can find any other nearby magnesium. Is that one up there? Kind of looks like one. No, I got punked by the game. All right, let's go down here and see if we can find a magnesium down here somewhere. Some ice. This is all part of the same spaceship, so there's nothing over here. This is just part of the same crashed spaceship. That's one of the things you'll explore a lot in this game, is you'll explore a lot of different crashed spaceships. Geometry in the game can get a little weird sometimes. You can get stuck inside the geometry, but you can get out pretty easy. There's a button, I forget what it is. There's a button you can use that gets you out of the geometry. Alright, so now we have our microchip torch, which I can use. Oh, I have to install it. Alright, so now I can use F to turn on the torch. But now I think we run into another problem, which we'll see when we get inside there. I can use a torch to see when it gets dark in here. But then you'll run into, alright, so here's another chest. Super alloy is something you'll need a lot of later. Space food restores our health bar. And aluminum is our first semi-rare material. I say semi-rare because it doesn't, you have to go look for it. It's not scattered all over the ground like the other stuff. Now you can see here, if I want to get inside that part of the spaceship, I have to deconstruct this beam here, which I do not have the ability to do that just yet. And the same thing if I want to get back there. So all I've gathered so far was that super alloy and the chunk of aluminum. So we have our base up here though, so once we're ready we'll be able to do it. Can we build? Alright, so if we want to expand our exoskeleton, which is what we need to do, the exoskeleton is this. So if we expand our exoskeleton, we'll be able to add a deconstruction chip. So to expand our exoskeleton, we just need a chunk of titanium. There's that. So now we'll build our new, so now we have an exoskeleton. This is our exoskeleton T1. Increase equipment capacity. Am I already wearing an exoskeleton T1? Figure out how this worked. All right, let's take this off. Let's do that. There we go. So I just had to take one off and then include that. So there we go. All right, so now we have our exoskeleton T1, so we can carry all this stuff. So now we can build our deconstruction microchip. So we just need another chunk of magnesium. Magnesium sometimes can be the one that's kind of a bother to find. It's not super rare, but it's not as available as the other ones. Luckily, it's easy to see. Go over here and grab this other one. There we go. Go ahead and grab this too. Alright, so go back to our base and build our deconstruction microchip. You see this? We're talking about the geometry. You can go up that hill, you just have to jump a little bit. It won't just let you run up that hill. Alright, so there we go. What we're rebuilding this time are our deconstruction microchip. So now I'm going to equip that. What do we need to build a... Okay, so I'm going to build this chunk of... Alright, so there's that. So I'm going to go ahead and put all this stuff in here. We don't need this stuff while we're inside the ship exploring. We can build backpack T2 now, which would require iron, silicon, and titanium. We'll do that in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and chug some water. So now we're gonna go inside the ship here real quick, just so you can see what's in there for the end of our first video. We're gonna go in here. See the nature starting to reclaim it. Go ahead and turn on our torch, go over to that original area. Now this is empty now. Now we can deconstruct that if we want to, and we'll get some chunks of iron. So we'll go over here, we'll deconstruct this. And you see we got a piece of iron for deconstructing it. Now we can deconstruct that heater, which will now give us the iridium we need to make our own heater. Now you have to be careful. Alright, so there's a canister. You have to be careful you don't accidentally deconstruct the things you need. So opened up that canister, found another blueprint. There's nothing in this part of the ship. So let's go over here. Sometimes the lockers will have stuff inside them. You have to peek in there a little bit. Deconstruct. There we go. For deconstructing it, you have to make sure you have the right tool selected. I'm gonna go back and do that. So here's another iridium and here's another space food. I'm not going to grab those other ones because they're just laying around everywhere. I'm going to go over here, see what's in this part of the ship. Get a little bit low on oxygen. I'm going to wait till it gets all the way down first before I... So here we have another seed and we have another iridium. I'm just getting the stuff that's rare. I'm going to go ahead and eat this food, use this oxygen. Alright, bring back up our tool. You can use the mouse wheel to change your tool. You can see our inventory is filling up with the iron from deconstructing the stuff. So I'm going to go over here and just stick this iron in there because there's plenty of iron elsewhere. We don't need to come in here and explore this ship to get iron. Can we take apart this heater? Yeah. We're going to deconstruct that heater, so now we have more iridium. Lots more stuff. Over here, there's more storage crates. Go ahead and... Alright, so fabric. Alright, so I'm going to put that in there, grab that. Put the titanium in there, because that's... You get that. Put that in there. Grab that. I'm grabbing the rarest stuff. Now we can come back and find and open it and get all this other stuff here in a little bit because we don't have a food generator at the moment, so those things are not useful for us. Alright, so here's another. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this water bottle so I can get this. Read the message. Cargo ship Cirilla 4, machinery log number 436. This morning, as we are on our 7th day of our space travel to Stigmar, the ship inexplicably exited hyperspace velocity. The navigation tools went crazy and all the ship's power went down as if it was drained by something exterior. We're going to try to make an exterior emergency landing on this unreported planet. I'm not sure we'll find there. The planet seems to have a huge storm on the surface. I hope we'll make it. Alright, so I'm going to grab that oxygen, grab this water, and now we need to get back to our base before we run out of oxygen. There's all the stuff we put on the ground. Go over here and run out. Hopefully I can remember the way out. Some of the ships can get a little maze-like. Here we go, so we're out. So we'll run back over to our base here. And you'll see now we'll have enough material to build a heater, which we will do in our next. Oh, let's go ahead and do this. We'll swap out one of these iridium for an iron. Now these heaters have to be built indoors. I'm gonna go ahead and build the first one right there just so you can see it. Now, these heaters, I mean, it doesn't matter where you place them. Later on, some of the heaters will have to be built outside. Your initial heaters have to be built inside. So now you can see we have this heater. It's using 1 kilowatt. If we didn't have enough power, we would have gotten a warning as soon as we placed it. And you can see it's generating heat at 0.30 pk per second. So that's an initial look at the game. So you can see what's going on. We're going to continue this playthrough. Might stream it sometime, but right now we're just going to play on YouTube for now. Started a new job, so can't commit to a streaming schedule. Oh look, there's some magnesium. Alright, but hope you enjoyed it. I think Planet Crafters is a really amazing game. It's very chill. Let me get that out of the way right now. It's very chill. There's no danger other than running out of oxygen and water or health. There's no dangerous animals or anything like that that's coming to kill you. It's all just about building and exploring. So I hope you liked it. And if you do like it, let me know in the comments. If there's anything else you have, any questions you have about the game, leave me in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching.